Okay, we ready? So to call this meeting to order. Do we have someone to do roll call? That's what it's. Yes, we do. We're also gonna need somebody to do minutes. Who would like to do the minute before we get started? Oh, come on, you know you.
That's what we do in my family.
You need to rephrase the question, first of all. Who would like to do the minutes? It's probably not.
That would be the better thing to do. yes.
Who would like to do those minutes? Maybe letting go.
Or I guess Bill can transcribe them from the recording.
Bill just said that we don't want to do that.
Pretty instant.
Bill did send in the.
Yeah, we have a
We have a
template. I just
template.
don't believe I can do them. So if somebody on the board could,
I vote anybody but me.
Oh, that's very big.
I'm signing checks. Hey, sorry.
And a lot of them.
All opposed?
Okay, what do you, somebody volunteer.
I'm gonna miss some time.
would you like me to pick someone?
Sure,
Ooh.
sure, okay.
He's about to make friends.
Here, I know.
You don't have to. You can do it.
Were you volunteering, Bill?
Did she do it?
That's John.
I'm John.
I know,
I'm Phil.
I know. I thought, I know.
Motion.
So he's like, nope, I'm not. Would you like to? Would you please, please?
Seriously? I'm
No.
doing enough already.
No, but you're absolutely right. I agree with you. He did, no, you just did me a huge favor.
No.
Oh.
Not a chance. I'm not that guy. I said that in the first minutes, of my first meeting, that I'm not the secretary. I have nothing to input if I'm actually trying to write something down, and I'm horrible at it.
You can do it.
Can I do it? Does anybody?
Yeah,
No, you do it.
it doesn't have to be a board now.
Thank you, Shelby.
Maybe it does. But
And just remember, board, that it's not her job, so when they're not good, don't be mad at her. Right, Shelby, we got your back.
well, I know who my friends are.
No, we'll still play.
Okay.
I'm your friend. I had your back first, remember that.
Okay, so we're gonna do roll call. I guess I could do that. If I can. I'm here. John,
I'm here.
Ron Schultz.
John. Dan.
Bill's
Bill's
here.
here. Bill's here. Tamara's here. Who we missing? One. Bill. And Bill Mazur is out ill, so he's not here.
And Ron Walker's on here. I know he's not on the board. Right?
Yeah.
Anyone know if
Oh,
he's
yeah.
okay?
They didn't have electricity. Well,
Well, he came in to look at the damage at the center, but I didn't talk to him.
okay. And all four of our directors are here, and Shelby and Becca. So we got. Hey, can we stand in touch?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, was the meeting noticed?
Yes.
Only for 2 days, but it was noticed.
I mean, ours was noticed, but the location changed when we changed the location.
So do we have the minutes? Did everybody get a chance to look at the minutes from last night? Do we have a motion to approve the minutes for September 18th?
Motion to approve?
Second,
Any comments, additions, changes?
there's just a few little Scribner issues. Abbreviations, MSU grant, MSTU grant, couple other things. But that's minor.
Get those corrected. All in favor of accepting the minutes with the corrections?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Introductions and announcements. We do have a little announcement that was made by the East Lake Library Advisory Board. They have presented PHCSA with a gavel and an engraved base.
Oh.
And it was engraved by Boy Scout Troop 475. 475, the Boy Scouts engraved it. So this will remain with Fixer long after me. Each newly elected chairman will have a gavel and a Fixer base. Thank you. Boy Scouts. And the advisory. Brought that to us. We don't have any agency rules, procedures, clarifications that were brought to my attention to be put. Public comments, who do we have? I saw, here he is.
Not
Mr.
here if
David.
anybody has any questions or thoughts, but it's been an extremely busy 2 weeks, obviously for residents, and I think there was some comment at the board meeting Tuesday, yesterday, that really proud of staff because of all that they've done. They've stepped up in a big way, but you step up to the needs that your residents have, and that's what we're trying. That's what they're really working hard to do. And there's so many needs right now, whether it's getting rid of all the unsightly stuff, or getting ready to rebuild, or trying to find a transitional place to live for 6 months or a year, trying to put people in touch with the right people to try to make things happen. We're making a lot of good decisions and good things, and making some missteps along the way and learning as we go. But yeah, just unbelievable, the resilience of our residents, and how much they're helping each other out. It's just, there's so many stories, personal stories. When you go up to one of our employees, and you just feel, and you just give them a hug, and they just start crying, there's a lot of stuff bottled up, but they're just getting their job done but every once in a while you kind of gotta let it go. There's a site called Care About Me. It's a phone number. I don't have it off the top of my head, which I should have. But it's a really good place. It's a portal. People can call in with confidentiality to talk about any emotional issues they may be going through. We started it in May. It's doing pretty well. We have experts that talk and listen and go through, and if they need, try to set up an appointment if you wanted to talk to somebody. But that mental health counseling piece, we wanted to bring it to Pinellas County, and it's here, and a lot of people are taking advantage of that as well. Just a lot of stress. You can't control it. It just happens. It comes from in here and comes out in weird ways. So, but yeah, any questions? I'd be glad to try to, yes, ma'am.
I would just like to compliment the Administrative Services Department, or whatever their name is now. The communication is excellent. Okay, they responded, okay, both times with Hurricane Helene, with Hurricane Milton, whatever, but all of them, okay? Even though we understand, our needs are minimal compared to the tragedies other people have gone through, and I realize priority-wise, our building, we really lucked out, but that whole group, okay, Diana Sweeney and Tulsi and all these others, Larry Martinez, all of them, okay, even if they can't get to me, the communication's there. They're calling me back. They're calling me on Sundays.
It's been pretty amazing.
So they are an amazing group.
Stop and talk to some of the people that are picking up the debris. They're county employees.
Right.
And they're just like, professional, they're upbeat, and
Yeah.
it's an honor to be helping our residents. So
Mhm.
to your point, I think they're being very
Yeah,
responsive.
and I think it's important for everybody to, we're very quick to complain at times, but I think it's also important to praise and let the county people know that, we appreciate everything
Well,
they do.
that the first responders need it as well, but
Oh, yes.
our employees do too. So if
Yeah.
you see any, say thank you, because they need that. Thanks, appreciate
Yeah,
that.
thank them for all of us. I mean, they have been great, the county, whenever you needed something during this.
Maybe we should, as a board, send an email.
And Dave?
You were the vice chair, send an email.
Stacy, send the updates, updates from, those are helpful. I've sent those out so many
Yes.
times with so
Yes.
many people. Because you put together all the resources, and that's what a lot of people
Yeah.
are just asking.
Yeah.
Where do I go and how do I get there?
Disaster.pinellas.gov.
That's been,
Disaster.pinellas.gov has everything, but she's real good about pushing it
Yeah.
out, and that's,
Especially when you're not thinking about it. You're like, oh, yeah, I needed this.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Very
If you
helpful.
guys ever know of people that want to be added to that mailing list, just
Yeah.
call her and let her know.
And we put every one of those things she sent us, we put as links on, as Hurricane Resources on our website. so
That's-
People know where to go.
Yep.
ready for Dallas has that
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, and sometimes you may get it twice,
Mm.
you know.
I'd rather get it twice than not at all.
Send it out, sometimes you do get it twice, but
Yeah.
it's better than not enough, so, yeah, thank
And,
you.
and thank you for helping the residents that are
Yeah.
desperately needing it, because you've been instrumental yourself as our commissioner, and we appreciate that
Appreciate
as
it.
our representative.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dave.
He was the only commissioner that showed up, so, no, I'm serious.
And how, imagine that.
Still don't have the answers. but
Yeah,
thank you for
well,
taking
I
the
know,
call.
and I'm bringing it up every meeting I have,
Right,
because that wave is coming.
yep.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so we'll move on to the treasurer's report, John.
Everything looks good from what I see. Put it that way.
Did you open both eyes or just?
It was one, I was a little bit busy for the past couple of weeks too.
He's got a new prescription and it's not working.
All in favor of, oh, wait, first, a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
I'll make a motion to accept that treasurer's report.
Okay, I did look with
As
both
close
eyes.
as I am here, I can
I'll second that.
reach
Okay.
out.
Any questions for John? Okay, all in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Opposed? We'll move on to Palm Harbor Parks and Rec. We can get a motion to accept the monthly financials for September.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Dan?
Are these numbers for these entities for the year? Is this gonna be the year-end numbers?
Well, they won't be the final till they're audited, but that is the whole year that you
So it
see.
is the whole year?
Yeah.
It's through September, yeah.
Okay, so I got specific questions about each of them. It's a good time to ask them on that.
Each individually, each.
Yeah, each entity.
Yeah.
Just based on that. I wasn't sure if it was the numbers were for the year though, because there's some things that are off on all of them. Like personnel expenses significantly.
Yeah, I've been short a couple positions all year.
What's going, like, is that just because we can't find people?
Right, yep.
Is Deborah's departure also not factored in for all four?
That's. under
Well, yeah,
fixed-
that's under fixed expense, not
Mhm.
personnel.
That's what I thought.
Mhm.
So you're under by 220 for the year.
And well, it is, so you figure probably 25,000 of that's benefits by the time you do all the benefits.
Yeah.
And then two positions is probably 60,000 of that, easy, 65, maybe 70.
Insurance, yeah, right. Okay,
And we didn't burn any overtime till the hurricanes,
okay.
that's this year.
Renew and replace over 112.
Because that's where they put everything that I used from previous year. So like the pier replacement,
Yeah.
that's where it comes out of. I only budget annually for 60, 70, maybe 80,000 out of the current,
Yeah,
but everything we've capitalized, that's where the accountant throws it.
okay, that's what I figured. But you don't have any budget for capital improvement.
She breaks it out that way. It's all replacement and renewal, and then if it's over $5,000, she puts it under capital.
I never noticed it before.
Yeah,
You don't budget for MSTU,
nope,
lowest budgets for MSTU. Matthew budgets for MSTU.
it never used to go in here.
No, we didn't
So
originally.
what do we, I mean, as a board, we should probably decide how we want it, so they all four.
How do you budget for
Okay,
something you're not
You
guaranteed?
don't know.
You
if
don't
you're
know
gonna
if
get
they-
it.
Yeah, when it's
Yeah.
not guaranteed. So I put 20,000 as potential income and then 20,000 as potential expense. But again. If you don't
I
get
mean,
it.
it's usually a wash, so.
MSC could be
I just let the accountant.
considered fundraising too. I mean, that's.
No, the MSU income is strictly what the county.
No, no, but it's
done
still
by-
extra income,
Yeah,
however you want
I've,
to.
I've only done it the last few years. We could take it out.
I just don't, I
That's
think
what
we
the
should just be
board is.
consistent.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
what I'm not thinking.
I've never put it in because I've never, we've never,
It's
been a wash.
guaranteed.
yeah,
it's
so it's a
wash.
zero net,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, so it's, it's a special project funding, kind of considered a grant. But,
Mhm.
I mean, doesn't really matter to me either way, because
Me
like
either.
they're saying,
Mhm.
we're gonna put it both in revenue and
income,
expenditure. And then we'll either get it and we'll spend it, or we won't.
No, get it.
So I'm good either way.
Same.
Doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter to me. I mean, I think the auditor / accountant wants MST income shown up top. That's why it's there. I didn't put it there.
Yes,
So if they're gonna show the income at the top.
It
I
does
would
need to
think
be income up top, yeah. I
yeah,
agree.
and that's.
No, what I'm saying is they put that in,
Budget.
we should probably make an expense to match that is what I'm hearing you
Right,
ask.
yes.
Yeah, and that's what I've done, yeah.
Then you'll always be 20X over budget or something like that.
But at least you got a placeholder for it.
Right.
Right.
It's consistent across the board.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The only other question I had, Eric, was on the interest. Didn't budget for it. Are you gonna budget for it?
I did budget next fiscal based on what we earned, with a little less because I'm gonna spend some of that money down. Remember, I just moved that money at the beginning of the
Right.
fiscal and didn't realize we were gonna make that kind of,
So the
Interest
net income of 201K. Really shouldn't be there because of the personnel expense.
correct. Correct. But again, you're also seeing all the expenses I'm using from previous in the net negative as well. Cause your net other income is negative, whatever, 101 from capital
Right.
that I didn't really spend out of this year. That was from previous years.
Oh, okay, now I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
All right.
that's why it goes from 3 to 2.
That's what was my next question. So with the 201 excess, looking at that from an outside public perspective, oh, what are they doing? Socking away money for a rainy day? Where are they gonna put it? Why aren't they spending everything we're giving them? Should we be zero budget? But as long as we can answer those. I
Yeah.
can.
Well, and like I said, we're still waiting on the $400,000 special project to get going down at Sunderman that will hopefully be done this fiscal year, if I live through it. And that's the easy project. But now we gotta wait on Duke Energy to move a pole so we can build. So you tell me when that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The storm couldn't knock that down.
The one pole left standing, Ronnie, you know it.
Yeah.
That's the only questions I have.
Any other questions? Mary? Okay. All in favor, accepting the financial,
All right.
opposed? Carries. Director's report, or a motion to accept.
Motion to accept.
Second.
I really don't have anything to add. Do you have any questions? I really have no clarity on what I even wrote, so. If you have any questions, you may absolutely ask.
Only thing you could have added in was everything you had to do because of what Milton did to you
Well, this was written way before Milty.
right before.
I mean, the last 6 days, staff has been working pretty much every day. I know Stephen and Trish and I went in on Thursday to mitigate a tree with the help of some volunteers. And then we worked Friday and Saturday all day at Putnam to get that tree off the roof with a couple of volunteers. Because the county obviously is a little tiny bit busy getting bigger trees off roofs like the one at the center. So we at least mitigated the one at Putnam and that was tarped today. The one at the center, I was gonna cover this under your storm debris, but Phil brought it up.
That's okay.
The one at the center has been tarped. Before Milton came through, we had fed guys about 1,000 people over several nights with volunteers and staff with spaghetti. And then we did a bunch of barbecue. I don't even know what Saturday it was, the Saturday before Milton, and went out into, Ron, we were talking before the meeting, seeing the devastation. We went out into Baywood Village. We went out into Crystal Beach. We went out in Crystal Bay Mobile Home Park and all the places that really had nothing left to give. So, what's that site again? Care About Me? I think my staff and I need to just have like a powwow sitting around a laptop. And because it has been really honestly mentally exhausting. And then, I was spit at on Saturday because I wouldn't let kids play near electrical that was down. And then we have adults letting kids jump the fence with them because we had a tree down on a roof. And, when you get to those type of people and you're tired, you really have a hard time representing the organization in a way that I'd be proud of. I was good. I bit my tongue and just said it might be in your best interest to leave the property right now. So, but I mean, I told Commissioner Eggers and Ron before the meeting, we opened up Putnam in 5 days. Is that what it's been? And we still had, and we had significant damage, not just the roof, but we had, the courts took a beating, the fence took a beating, and we had someone complain at staff today why the hell the windscreen was down at Putnam. I'm like, you're playing pickleball, aren't you? Deal with the glare. So it's unfortunate that people didn't see your mom's house, Ron, to understand what really is important. So, but I'm very proud of my staff, as Commissioner Eggers stated about his staff. Nobody missed a beat. Everybody gave their time. And, right now we're working in half a building. We don't have walls in 4 of our rooms. Ron, I missed you, but I heard you were there. We're waiting for the ceiling to be mitigated, trusses to be fixed. I don't know when it'll be. But we're moving programming around. Cindy's not here, but she's done a phenomenal job shifting, ebbing. Oh, and by the way, we lost Harbor Hall because we're letting people sleep there as a step down shelter. So I'm waiting to hear back from Red Cross. I got a call around 5 o'clock, trying to find out when they're going to move out because we have a wedding 2 weeks from today. And before I call and really ruin a bride's year and probably 2 years or 3 years, however long she's been planning, I'm hoping I can get them out in the next 7 days so that we can have that place back. So when it rains, it pours literally inside of our facilities lately. So,
Take care of you and your staff. That's the most
Exactly.
important. Seriously.
no, I agree with
This
you.
is so, I mean,
agree
the
with you.
first day we were driving around, it didn't seem that bad. The first, Helene.
Yeah.
Second day, you started seeing everything.
Yep.
Everybody's, and it's like, whoa.
Yep.
This is, and then, you know, each one of those are stories. So you and your staff are dealing with it 10 times, 20 times, 30 times fold. And some people are short-sighted and short-fused and aren't treating people the right way. And it's
Yeah.
part of the storm. It's,
Yep,
it's,
it is.
it's everywhere. So
Yep.
take care of you and you all know how important this, that's why I was thinking, do I need to go to this meeting? You know, all the stuff that's going on, everything that's going on in my own life. I got stuff going on, but every time I heard, even at the library, how important our community services are. No BS, this is really important, because everybody needed to get out and get away from what had happened.
Yep.
And they needed somewhere to go, and we fulfilled it. Well, you fulfilled it. We're just sitting there signing checks and saying, okay, that's a good idea, but that's so important to our community. And now I know why I'm here today. And take care of yourself and your staff, please, because like Dave said, it doesn't go away. This is, we're not gonna forget about this.
Nope.
This is huge, because you're never gonna forget the images.
Nope.
Anyway, sorry.
And well, the pats on the back with, you know, Erica and all the directors, but
Yep.
I'm involved with Erica and I saw what was going on and the amount of volunteers that came out to help with staff and everything else. I mean, John's not on staff, but he had his hands in the barbecue. I hope he didn't eat any of it because his hands were in it. But you
I
had
wore
the,
gloves and I wash my hands
you
after
had the
every time.
DeWalt drill.
Yeah, we had the drill going. I mean, that was great.
But
Once we got it.
if you weren't involved, it was, you know, Dave said about, you know, people hugging you and, I mean, we had the opportunity to hand out meals over in Ozona or Crystal Beach. I mean, less than a mile and a half away. And these people have lost everything in their houses. And we had a couple ladies come out and they just started crying and just grabbed me and hugged me and said, thank you. I mean, that's just for bringing them barbecue that John had his hands in. I mean, come on, I mean, but just bringing them a meal and it meant so much. And they still need it. You know?
Our community's gonna need.
And if
need it for a
if you haven't
long,
been
long
down the
time.
beaches, it's
Yes.
worse out there. I mean, from.
And it keeps going. Doesn't
Indian,
stop.
and then go from the beach over to the northeast section and then go up to Oldsmar. And then, I mean, it's just, I was saying it earlier, I have survivor's remorse. I feel guilty that my house is still
Yeah.
standing. Not that guilty, but you know,
Not that guilty.
I could hire you to rebuild it. Yeah. But thank you, Erica, for,
And staff just
everybody.
reminded me, we wiggled Halloween away from Harbor Hall because I don't know if that Red Cross shelter is gonna be closed. And we're gonna do just a completely free event for the community. And just scale it down to free trick or treating and fun and games. We're not gonna do a hayride, but we're gonna just make it completely free because everybody's hurting. So give everybody an opportunity to come hang out for a couple hours, get some candy for the kids, play some games, whatever we end up getting. Staff pivoted really quickly on that. And thanks for the reminder, but it has been, I've been in Parks and Rec now for 21 years and our motto is we learn to pivot. I would have never learned enough to pivot this much, so. Kudos to everybody who wears our logos, because I know it's been rough on everybody, so.
Erica, you had the meeting last month with the hardening of the building potential grant. And did you see anything, when it's fresh in your mind? Would they cover tree removal around or
Who's they?
whoever was looking for giving you grant money to improve the hardening of the building?
I think they're two separate things, but I will also brush upon Lois's about the county. They met me at the facility Thursday, I think it was, or Friday, and they removed the tree and they tarped it with their roofer, and I don't think that's gonna be a fixable at all. It's gonna be a FEMA claim. I mean, I haven't signed anything. All the contractors have been all county contractors, so. Again, kudos to the response team. I think I saw on an email chain, 4 buildings in the county that had damage, animal services, their fleet maintenance area, and our 2 buildings. So the response has been phenomenal. And it's an amazing, amazing, I mean, Saturday morning, Derek Weaver, I'm not really sure what his title is, but he's a director level showed up with his kids in the car. They just got back from evacuating, his jeans and his shirt to meet the, I think, the structural, the engineer coming to look at the trusses and stuff. So there has not been one player in this game goofing off, not one.
Any other questions for
I
Eric?
feel like we need to like play some party music or
I know,
something.
I know.
Damn, I'm feeling depressed.
So, all in favor of accepting Erica's director's report, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Take it, no old business, but we do have new business.
Yes.
And I just so everybody knows, I put storm damage on everybody's new business, anticipating we have stuff. We don't have any to pass it, but.
Yeah. So,
And Erica did that.
unfortunately, at Sunderman, we haven't had lights since Celine came through on half of the complex. Due to one of the boxes that houses the contactors for the lighting being submerged under 4 to 5 feet of water. We had, tried to mitigate it with the hometown electrician. Yes, they can repair it, but they can't get the parts because they're Musco, proprietary, which is the lighting that we have. I put a purchase order at your, place. That is what it's gonna cost to rebuild, well, actually replace the cabinet with the components in it. And I'm asking for approval for $15,750 to come out of that capital account, which will be from previous year's monies, Dan. So when you see that, you'll know, but it'll go under replacement and renewal. Because we've got to have the lights. The good news is they were 6 to 8 weeks out with their electrician that Musco uses. It's not a warranty job clearly, so I don't have to use their electrician. I'm gonna use my electrician. They're gonna build the box. It'll take 5 to 10 days, and then I'm gonna have my electrician on standby. So maybe by November 1st, we can have lights back down there instead of January something. So that's what I'm looking for, is approval for that.
CMC stands for,
I don't know.
okay,
A cabinet with a lot of contactors in
so
it.
that's, okay, it looks
Yeah.
like a description, okay. So it's basically a big electrical.
It's an electrical
box
panel box.
That's
of different-
shot
yeah.
from,
What
okay.
is called control, or what is it?
Control modules,
Cabinet.
cabinet. Thank you. Yeah.
Sounds good.
I
That's
wanna make
perfect.
sure we were getting.
Yeah.
So you could have been-
I could have
So
saved,
you could have been a Muppet or
I
something.
could have saved I think $1,500 and just bought the components and put them back into the old cabinet, but
Right.
I would have probably paid more than that in labor to have them take it all out. And then what if the cabinet has damage from the salt water? So I said, no, just do the whole thing.
Is this something that you can raise geographically off the ground? So. it doesn't-
I mean, it is off the ground, but probably not more than it is, but it is something that I'm already checking into with Pinellas County to see if they can put this in their parks and conservation FEMA claims, since it's their park. And eventually we might see the money come back. I may be retired by then, but I'm hoping that we'll recoup that money, but we just need to spend it now to get it done.
What I'm saying is, can you raise it higher?
Yeah, I don't know. And when the cabinet comes in, I can certainly ask the electrician,
Yeah.
even if we put an old piling in there that we pulled up from somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's actually, I know it's gonna be funny, but it's higher than me and it's still got water in it. So it's about 6 feet at the top. But yeah, the Helene was a bish when it came to intrusion down there, so. And we're not sure this is all the damage. We can't test any other damage till we have power to that.
We have a motion to approve.
Make a motion.
A second.
The motion.
Any further discussion?
We will approve that at the advisory board level too. So it's not coming with the advisory boards.
She knows that. She knows I just got the, yeah.
It has to, I mean, we don't have a choice.
I mean, I don't think it has to have advisory board approval.
just
It's
usually
just,
does.
right, it usually does, but we're not in usual times.
I'll amend it then to approve the spending of money pending the approval of the advisory board. How's that?
Well, I'm not waiting another month, John. I'm
I know
gonna
you're
spend it.
not.
I hate to tell you.
I know you're.
I got approvals via email on the last thing. I
Okay.
did within 2 days.
No amendment.
So it's no issue.
Okay, so we're gonna keep the original
Yes.
motion. Original motion. Any other questions? No, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you. Little League, thanks you. Tournaments, thank you.
Okay, East Lake Parks and Rec. Do we have a motion to approve the financials for September?
Motion to approve?
Second,
Any discussion, questions? Oh, Dan,
You got 308,000 renew and replace under budget. Meaning what did you?
That's just carryover.
You expect, I
Yeah.
gotta figure this
So
we want to spend about 10 million, so we still got a ways to go.
Right on.
I love it.
So, I
Go
mean,
get it, Mark.
we're trying to build that up
All right,
for some major projects.
so then you might want to budget for interest income instead of $63, which you budgeted for. You got, you got 600,000 in CDs. I'm hoping you're getting more than $63.
Yeah.
So the same thing, I'm recommending that you guys start budgeting. And for what you should be getting, so we kind of know, that'll help us keep track of what kind of interest we're getting on our money. And maybe John, the bank will step up and you can say, hey, this is what
They
we're
are.
getting over here.
There, yeah, I've had started some conversations, so, but they went on hold.
This is probably something you answered in previous meetings, but why did you expect to get 43,000 more from ad valorem than you did? Did you budget it and you got 43,000 less than you budgeted?
We should have got $43,000 more than we budgeted for. The original.
That's
budget.
right, that's right.
Yeah, so that came,
Yeah,
like a month.
The first estimate was March.
That was that, I remember
We
that.
get the first estimate in
discussion.
March, and then, July is the second one. And usually there's a little bit of a bump, but we hadn't anticipated any bump. And then it was.
Right, they told us the
surprisingly-
budget for flat.
Yeah.
And then we got a.
And then we got a 4% raise. 4% increase, excuse
And no facility rentals this year. Locking down, not letting people in.
I had my fields were in really bad shape, so, I didn't do any rentals.
Any further questions on the financials? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? We have a motion to accept the director's report for East Lake Parks.
We do.
Second,
Second Ed.
Yeah, so, we survived the storms much better than other folks did. We were very lucky. We did sustain some damage. Our football scoreboard was knocked over. We lost about 3 trees along the fence line. One of our shade structures was totaled. Just lots of trees and branches and some of the fencing was blown, bent. So basically mostly minor damages, but stuff that takes time to get fixed. So we're doing pretty well on that. We're moving along, getting things done. Our volunteers have been great as well. We removed all those shade canopies, most of them, before the storm hit, and that was all done by volunteers from our baseball and soccer clubs came out. And I even had my kids out there. We were taking banners down. We didn't get everything taken care of before it hit, but most of it we did. And so it was a good, everybody come together and get it done. So we could have sustained a lot worse damage than we actually did. The other just thing I wanted to mention is today, you've heard me talk in the past, especially the last meeting, about our plan for expansion out at the meadows with fields and stuff, and where we would also bring in additional parking. And before that, we've been working on an alternate parking plan that would be by the Keller Water Treatment Plant. So we're working on that with the county, with Nancy, and we had hired a civil engineering group. And they finally came back with pricing on that. So for 195 spaces, pricing was $2.5 to $3 million. And for 217 spaces, they came back with a price of 2.6 to 3.2 million. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to put parking there when we want to put it in the Meadows area. So we'll have further discussion on that, but just wanted to throw it out there. I just got that today, what the pricing would be. The mitigation, is just from $75,000 to $77,000. Other than that, oh, and our MSTU, we received our bleachers right before the hurricane. So we had to deal with that because it came the day before.
Oh,
And they needed to be put together, but we didn't have time to do that, but we had to find staging areas so that stuff wouldn't go flying all over the place, so that was fun. Anyway, that's about it. Any questions?
Okay, all in favor of Mark's report, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Mark, did you have any new business?
Just, what I said about the damage.
And yeah, kind of came under the
Yeah,
the damage, so you didn't need any approvals, right?
I think all my damage would have fallen under the, deductible.
Okay. So I just put it in there
I did too.
in case we needed it.
If I can piggyback on what Erica said too earlier, we had our board meeting last night because we postponed it a week ago. We're having the same issue with, volunteers from our area are all up there working, cleaning the place up, fields are closed. People are coming out there from around the area, ticked off that they can't come use the complex and cause damage.
Everybody around us is still closed. Dunedin, Tarpon.
Yeah.
County parks are closed till
Right,
Saturday.
and we're open.
Yeah,
We
we
had
are
a
open.
full house last night.
Yep.
And some of these people are coming out there with attitudes, and like you said,
Mm.
I probably wouldn't be quite as nice to them. I mean, it's ridiculous. It really is. And you see all the people that are volunteering.
You know me, Bill, I just kill them with kindness.
He does. That's why Mark's there and I'm not.
Glad you added the kindness part on.
That's why I rolled the truck window up and kept going.
All of the things and everybody's doing.
Why he doesn't want that parking, because they'll find the body.
Right. Well, but it's too expensive.
So how did you find out?
Yeah.
To just kind of tag on to that, I mean, I saw comments made of like, what's the center? On Facebook, and I'm like, people in our own community don't realize that we have a Parks and Rec. Whether it be in Eastlake or whether it be in Palm Harbor, they just don't realize it's there. And that, but they want to use it because it's there. But you know what, as Erica said, nobody else is open, the counties are even closed.
Right.
And it's like, we don't have that control, we have to make it safe for you to be there. And kudos to all of the groups that came up to help, with your groups. And with you guys over there with everything, I mean,
Well,
that's
Little League
just
came up with
fantastic, Little League came out right, I mean, I saw what they were doing.
Mhm.
I mean, they did a lot of work out there, but no, I mean, what everybody's done in the parks and even at the libraries was fantastic.
Okay. Sure. Okay, Palm Harbor Library, do we have a motion to accept the financials for September?
Motion to accept.
Second.
Second.
Okay, discussion.
We were all looking at you.
Yeah.
You said you had one.
I did. Did you guys receive the MSTU?
No, we were supposed to receive it in September. And I think it maybe had something to do with that strike, because it was coming from, the shelving was supposed to be coming from some international location to Texas to here. And so we've been in communication with them, but then the storms delayed that as well, and so we're still waiting, but we heard from them yesterday, and I think we're gonna be getting in the next week or two, so. Our request to get reimbursement from the county, we can't submit that until it's installed. So hopefully that'll be in the next few weeks, but yeah, that's where we're at with that, right now.
And then interest income, you have to budget for, because you haven't gotten too much yet. But I'm assuming you're going to budget for interest income. Or do you not have CDs?
We do have CDs,
Yeah.
but not, we don't have a lot in there, so.
And then you're under budgeted for personnel too. Are you sure? Or was that maybe because you started?
There's a few contributing factors there. One is I make, significant less than Jean, also Jean, there was no director for a month or two.
That's right.
We had several vacancies, just, it's just the way of the world. And then, so that's not just wages, that's also the health insurance. That's why you see that big gap in health insurance and that kind of thing.
Okay.
Also, you'll see like a gap in professional fees. We had contracted an employee remotely to do marketing, and that was getting less successful. And so at one point in the year, we terminated that contract and then eventually hired a new marketing coordinator, but that came out of income rather than professional fees, so there was kind of a little wobble there.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Do we have a motion to accept the Palm Harbor Library Director's report?
Yes.
Second.
And, okay. Eric, Matthew, go ahead.
Not much to add. I'll just remind everybody to tell your friends and family and coworkers that we will have trick or treating here at the library. This is something fun to look forward to on Halloween Day. Starts a little bit earlier at 3 p.m. So, we should have stations kind of throughout the library for kids and families to come and participate in that. Regarding storm, we were lucky here. We didn't lose power. We didn't lose internet. We did have we have a lot of trees out there, so we had a lot of debris, and it took several days of cleanup to kind of get most of it. You see the big piles around here. And actually, it's not quite all done yet. We see some cones in the parking spaces. That's because you've got these big limbs that are dead and hanging. We don't want them to fall on people's heads or cars. So we blocked up a few spaces there. There's some other trees we may have to take care of. And then we had several both old and new leaks pop up in the building that we're currently assessing with figuring out if it's like an AC issue or if it was a water retention issue or if there was something on the roof or what. So we're working our way through that. The only other issue we had was with the front door. We actually couldn't get it fully closed for a few days. And until we finally were able to kind of get it back on its track. It's still not functioning perfectly in terms of the actual automatic opening and closing. This is the exterior set of front doors over here. But at least it's at a point where it's not dangerous and it can actually be propped open when need be. So like I said, overall, very lucky in terms of the facility, but issues just like everybody. The reason we had special hours this week was a number of things, but mostly had to do with coverage. A lot of our staff, some of them were evacuated, some of them were actually out of state and couldn't get back in. A couple of staff members were negatively affected in terms of their actual property and and still have not been able to return. Our assistant director is off this week, but she actually had like some bad damage from Helene and that's still not resolved and Milton just made it worse. We had one staff member sleeping in her car because wasn't safe for her to be in her household to be able to sleep at night. So tough things going on all around, but like I said, overall, the Palm Harbor Library was very fortunate in terms of all this. We're hoping to be able to open regular hours this coming Monday.
Any questions? All in favor of accepting Palm? Oh, come on.
Voting yes.
Oh, I'm voting yes, okay. All in favor? say
He's quick.
aye. I thought he had a question. Opposed? Thank you. Okay, East Lake Library, do we have a motion to accept the financials for September?
Motion to accept.
Second.
Any questions?
Yeah, so you budget for the MSTU, so we gotta figure out. whether-
Yes, that was an accounting recommendation. That's why I started doing that.
So I guess just to wrap that up, I guess the directors can talk to the accountant and say, what do they want us to do?
Mhm.
And then I'll do it the same way. This way, you won't have me being annoying about it. And then same, you have a problem with personnel line item.
No, most of that was actually one senior professional that was on, started the year on short-term disability. And then, for various reasons, did not return. So that was a rather large salary. And then we did not replace her for a number of months after that. So that's probably the most significant reason for the gap between what was budgeted and what the actual personnel line was.
Okay. And you have 129 net income. Positive. Palm Harbor Library 165, East Lake Rec 296, Palm Harbor Parks and Rec 201. These normal? Is that, I don't remember where we've been in the past. I guess you could speak to the library. I don't know if that's
I would have to say, you know, and I don't need to speak for everybody else, but, you know, we've learned over the years of doing budgets that it's at best a guesstimate. Because we have no idea, like, if you look at my, miscellaneous building maintenance expenses, they were through the roof this year because, you know, who expected all these unanticipated air conditioning and leaks and such that, you know, it's so variable from year to year. So, you know, and we do the best we can. Some things are pretty much set. You know what the, you know, pretty much what the electricity cost is gonna be, what certain, you know, collection costs and so on. Databases and such, but when it comes to a lot of these unknowns, when it comes to the building or the grounds, okay, it's kind of hard to guess. So, you know, we try to put enough of a buffer in there. Some years we're close and some years we're far apart.
It's about, what, it's about 10% of the budget,
Mhm,
roughly, for everyone, I don't know, it seems about.
mhm,
I'm okay with it, I'm just pointing it out, it's something that I never really noticed before.
mhm.
Haven't been paying attention enough to the numbers overall. But that's the only question I got.
Any other questions? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Okay. Financial report. We have a motion to accept the director's report.
Motion to accept record.
Second.
Lois?
Basically, you know, we've had some issues with the building because of the hurricanes. After Hurricane Helene, our AC went completely down and we had to invest another $3,000 in Freon just to get it back up and running again. But of course, that also delayed the installation of the new AC units for 2 weeks. They will now be in it next week. And hopefully we will have the removal of the dehumidifiers, which have been going on for now, it'll be almost nine weeks at quite a cost. The only damage we have seen is that the foundation perhaps is compromised in the northwest corner. And we are waiting for the county to come out and look at that. But the whole north side is saturated. I mean, we have that swale that there's a drainage ditch there, which right now looks like beaver dams with all the tree limbs down and such. Luckily, for some reason, I thought to buy these absorbent snakes to put at all the doorways. If we hadn't done that on the north side with the double doors, get that whole, all that carpeting would have been saturated. So, that, you know, other than some carpeting in the corner that we wet backed, you know, it's just, we're very lucky. As far as the parking lot and the walkways, I have to thank my cleaning crew because I called them to see if they knew of someone to clean up the parking lot, because I went there the day after the storm and it was a lake in the back, a lake in the front, and debris everywhere from the trees surrounding the perimeter. They came and did it for free. Okay, and said that, look, we're not inside cleaning the building, we'll do it for you. You know, they didn't charge me anything, so I want to kudos to them. And then, of course, you know, we postponed a number of events, as you saw in my notes that the book for brunch, which was going to be, you know, to launch the capital campaign, we felt that based on all that's going on in the county, it would be insensitive of us at this time to have a capital campaign event that would be asking people to support a phase 2 expansion when people have lost their homes, their property, and we decided to delay it till 2025 at some point in the first half of the year. So, you know, I sent you invitations and, you know, we'll do it again. But I think, you know, in light of the fact we were there to try to help people as a disaster relief center as much as we can to help people, it doesn't seem right to have that type of event. The Chow House, though, is going on next week. Okay, my lasagna is frozen. I had to freeze it because I already made it, but and then, of course, we are now gearing up for our 25th anniversary celebration on November 9th. And we have quite a list of things going on. So it should be a fun day and I hope some of you can come.
Any questions? Opposed? All in favor of accepting the rejectors report, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All business, we had the AC dehumidifiers.
I'm asking to amend the approval that was given at last month's FIXA meeting. Because of the extended use of the dehumidifiers, having to rent them. I'm anticipating the cost to be over 30,000 at this point, somewhere between $32,000 to $35,000 for the rental fees. The advisory board has already approved via email, but I wanted to present it to the FIXA board for approval. And then there's part two, but go ahead.
Okay, so we get a motion to. What was the extra?
Is it not to exceed 30,000?
It was not to exceed 30, and now I'm saying, can we
35.
please make it 35?
Make a motion to accept the $35,000 payment for the humidifier, ugly humidifier machines.
They are ugly, I know, and loud.
Yeah,
Ugh.
for the benefit of the library.
Mhm.
Second?
Question. I'm sorry I wasn't here to ask, and I told you I didn't care, but I do care.
See, you do, okay.
But is, the AC replacement, is that part of the capital is the county paying?
That's
for
the
that?
county, yes.
Is the county not paying for the $35,000 in dehumidification?
No, because that's not a capital expense. This is a rental of dehumidifiers in the interim.
Can't you figure out a way to make it sound good?
I would be dishonest. I cover your ears, Dave.
And that machine,
Um, due to the fact that the county is paying $108,000 for the AC units. I
get
am
it.
so appreciative and happy with the way that they tried to expedite it as quickly as possible. And it's just that life intruded with 2 hurricanes and the fact that the items, the components were back ordered. So, and they did actually send out people from the county to see, to assess the situation, to see if there was someone that they could remediate it in the interim. And we can't use things like chiller units and such.
Were the units operational before the hurricane at all?
No, well, they are minimally, but they're a huge rips, tears, whatever in the conduit, so that the freon, you put it in, it leaks out very quickly.
I like where you're going, Phil.
Mm.
Make sure they look at that corner though, because that is
Oh,
a
yes.
concern.
Yes, I am very happy to say that my new facilities manager is starting on Monday, and his whole background is in construction. He owned a construction company in New
It's a
York.
pretty big piece.
So, yeah,
And
it's
solid inside.
it's all saturated
Yeah.
under there, because it's not coming from the roof, that's a new roof. Okay, there's nothing on the ceiling tiles, on the wall, so it's somehow seeping underneath.
Well, that's a soft area anyway.
Oh, yeah,
As well.
it's all wet, it's soaking wet there.
So none of it can be attributed to the storm damage. I'm back to the dehumidifiers.
Oh, the dehumidifiers?
The AC was broken prior to the first.
Yeah,
That's-
yeah. I did actually go to the insurance company too. Trying to see if they would pay for that.
Any further
Yeah.
questions?
I know, I would have been nice, but that's why we have our rainy day fund. That's what that money's for. I'm glad,
Sure did rain.
I'm glad we have it. Can use it for such an emergency.
And all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
It's really cool. About.
And the only part is that you had given us approval to close the first day of the HVAC installation, which was October 7th. It's now this Monday. And of course, I hate to close after being closed for the hurricanes, but I have no choice. I cannot take the risk of anyone being hurt from the components being brought in and out. It's just for the one day. And we will do passports that day in the community room, so we will continue that service. Oh, and I have to say, we did our first fingerprint appointment today. It's been delayed forever, okay? It was hysterical. Luckily, it was a FIXA volunteer okay, that Beth sent over. And I'm glad she was very sweet because she's surrounded by about 5 of us, so we could all practice with her. And it went very smoothly. So I'm very glad.
Unfortunately, her name is Helene.
Helene.
Yeah.
And we're allowing her to volunteer.
Yes, I
She's, I feel bad.
No, but the
for-
chaplain for the fire department is Milton, and they gave him such crap on Monday night, or like, we should let you in here.
So, and we now have 3 more appointments this week, so we're gonna get there.
Nice.
Okay, we just have to get a comfort level like we do with passports, so.
Do we have a motion to change the date?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I make a motion to change the date of the library closure for the installation of the AC unit to this Monday.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And I just want to thank my staff. They've been wonderful. It's been very tough. And a lot of people, had to leave the area, okay, and we managed.
We should have a holiday
I
party,
think we do.
like one hell of a party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
We were just
so.
talking about that.
Just fix a Y, we should.
Yeah,
We talked about that pre-meeting, we were.
yeah.
Thank you to our staff.
Kids
I
haven't
think
had one
ju-
of those since the first
Yeah, I did one,
year I
remember?
was here.
Yeah, we did it with
Yeah.
the Vegas style,
Yeah.
remember?
That
Yeah.
was fun.
That was the last time everybody wanted to play with me in the sandbox. I'm just kidding.
I think Shelby and I said we would take turns being in the dunk tank.
I would actually pay big bucks for that.
I'd be duct taped to the wall. Do that.
I'd also pay.
Need a lot of duct tape though.
Velcro. Wrap you in Velcro.
Oh,
Throw you in
Velcro.
Oh.
Got a little tramp.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you all.
okay. Beth, did you have anything you needed to bring up to us at all?
The only thing I wanted to bring up is just a reminder that the director performance reviews were all emailed to everyone. And we need responses back by November 1st, please.
How many do you have so
I
far?
have 3.
Okay.
2 came in at the last minute here, so today, so yeah.
There's 5 people who needs to.
What was your first one?
President.
I was.
Shoot,
I'm
Sandy.
third. I
Sandy.
actually sent it in today. In fact, it was like at 3 o'clock.
So we're calling each other out, is that what's
I'll
going
think
on?
Wait,
Nobody's
so-
late yet. We got.
I was late. I was second.
It's not November 30th. So we're good.
Just a reminder.
Got something over it.
Yeah, please, yeah.
Okay.
So while we're still on HR, I know you haven't said it, but are we gonna talk about advisory board director reviews? Can I just, since it's not on here, can I just say something under HR?
Sure.
Sure. Whatever. I just want, the Palm Harbor Parks and Recreation, who are historically known for being late in getting their reviews done and have been called out about it by our director as well. I've got 90% of the reviews back in from our individuals, and I have her main review done. We just haven't had a meeting to ratify it because we had to cancel last Wednesday. So I mean, if you don't toot your own horn, it doesn't get tooted, so. But
I mean, I'm still waiting, I'm just
I'll
saying.
shut up. Just letting you know.
Okay,
So you asking for an extension?
everybody's
No.
smiling.
And only, it's only due by November.
Smile,
so-
Sam.
Accolades, accolades.
Thank you. Oh, God, I feel so much better. Thank
Ready?
you.
Are you ready? Oh,
Yeah.
oh my God, oh my God.
Let's do one.
That's fine. There you
We'll
go.
wrap it, all inclusive.
I feel better. Thank you. Move on.
Shelby, do you have anything for us?
I do not, thank you.
Hey, Ron, how's our book coming?
I pretty much didn't do much in September except chase hurricanes and in personal life and otherwise. And so I'll follow up with something in writing, but it won't be
Hey, Ron.
very eventful.
Ron,
Yes,
could
sir.
you speak up just a tad bit, please? Just a little.
I have no report at this time.
You missed nothing back there, Commissioner,
You didn't miss much.
literally.
Ron.
Okay, now we get to agency items, old business, the self-reviews. I hope you all did them, just a reminder that they do, yeah, November 1st. And I
I
guess,
have to redo it.
and we did,
We do.
It was on the wrong one.
Oh,
and
It
then
was the first one.
we just mentioned reviews by the board. That was the whole idea, was a reminder.
Erica, you just said to you that it's the wrong form?
I got the right one now. After I
And
send in the
it
right
was
one.
close, yeah, so she's.
I just have to put the
you
information
find
on
the
the
right one?
right form.
Okay.
I have the right.
Well, that's just it. I want to make sure that would probably be on me for it, not, or at least maybe.
I was all excited and gonna toot my horn like, Phil, I got it in early. And I gotta redo it, so.
Is it the scale that was different this year? Because that's one of the.
I have no idea.
The East
on my
End
desk.
Library Advisory Board noticed the scale 1 to 5 is the same, but, 1 is, and 5, the meaning of the scale is different. So, I want to make sure that I'm looking at the same thing we're all looking at. On the one we're using, it had a different direction on what number 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5 meant. I don't know if the directors got that as well.
What does the advisory board was?
5 was like a role model, and 1 was needs corrective action.
Okay.
And it changed, when I sent it out to the East Lake Advisory Board, I said, pay attention to this because it might eliminate the old 5, 5, 5 across the board. Sorry, Lois. But I think it'd be more useful. So I didn't know if I was looking at the right one, because that was a drastic change. That was the main change from the previous years. And as I sent it to Beth and I sent it out, I was confusing myself. So I wanted to confirm that you guys are using the same scale as the East Lake Library. You guys know if that was on there?
I got that one.
I think so. I think it was online.
The one that you sent me, I sent out to the directors.
I don't remember what I sent you. That's my
Yeah.
problem.
I was just so
I have
fast,
to
I had
look.
sent mine to her before she sent yours to me.
Yeah, she sent hers
I was,
Okay. all right,
like
so
a
that-
couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
then
she was
you
really,
sent the
really,
right one.
She really wanted to tutor her.
yeah.
no, I like to get stuff off my desk, stuff. I was gonna use another S word, but Shelby's taking the minutes, so that's it.
It's being recorded.
There's a
Sam.
couple things in it though, like the 5-star reviews. And that area,
Oh, the Google reviews?
yeah, the Google reviews.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just skipped that.
yeah, and then,
It's not there yet.
some things that probably would pertain to mine. And the other one, those could be the scale would be different. It's not gonna be totally uniform is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Well, there's gotta be discrepancies, because, we're not vanilla ice cream. The jumps is gonna be different.
It's my favorite.
I'm sorry.
Anything else about the reviews or just other than we all gotta get them done? Whoever did it.
and for clarification, we send the advisory board signs and sends it to Beth. That's the process. By November 1st.
Reminder, and then we're jumping way down, but remember, our review workshop is November 14th. It's further down, but while we're talking about reviews, just throw it in there. Other agency, new business, I'm gonna skip, some people will take us longer to go about the full raises. So John just asked me if he had something, the Sunbiz update.
Last week, or last meeting, we discussed updating Sunbiz to add Tamara and some other stuff. So Shelby and I went through it and I have 2 versions of the addendum. But we have to figure out which way we're going. Because according to Sunbiz, each one of the entity directors is listed as a director of PHCSA. Is that supposed to be that way?
That's how it's always been. Who knows if it's supposed to be, but.
Exactly, and that was kind of what I was getting at. If it's always been that way, great, I have no problem with it. That's why I wrote up, because we want to get Sandy's signature on it tonight. So what I've done is I've removed Deborah as the registered agent, added Shelby, added Tamara, removed Jenny, and changed my title to treasurer. That was the only major changes, and then that's it. Huh? That was kind of the question, is, do the directors need to be listed?
Yeah, I know. I can call Andy real quick to ask him.
Yeah, then we'll just table this. Yeah.
What you're saying is the directors, the 4 entity directors are listed as part of the PHCSA board,
Correct.
which they're not.
And that was the reason why Shelby.
Well, they're
and I
listed
were
as
in
PHCSA
discussion.
board on it, or everybody's listed as
As
directors?
directors.
Yeah, we're not
But-
listed
but-
as PHCSA board members, we're all directors on it.
Right,
That's how it's been on there.
Non-voting directors, is that?
it's marked as
Just their
direct.
members.
Yeah, it
It's just
doesn't
like
indicate
you're
voting or
marked as a
non-voting.
director, everybody else, Phil, those are all marked as directors. As well as the entity directors.
What did it say in the original corporate? You look at that.
You want to, I can go back and look real quick.
It's on there.
The first,
Yeah, that should tell you.
go ahead, absolutely.
Corporation. Say how that should be.
Yeah.
That would be. And that's on the-
Sandy, when I looked at that, the original documents on that, the director would not.
Surprise, I took
Oh,
it.
yeah, fine.
Sorry. I shut it because the kids were yelling. I'm guilty.
Yeah. 30 seconds, it would have been you.
I would have it, I would have been sneaking out.
Because here's.
Have a good evening, everybody.
All right, now you're good to go.
That's what it's like. It's like.
You can go out, he turned it off.
He turned it off.
Oh, well, no, and were these,
Okay.
any of these are directors, but are they actual entity directors or were they just people on the board?
I mean, I can't read it. Just that drawing, but.
Cops will be here any minute.
Okay, I'll close it away. Let's move forward.
No, it's okay. It's just that the kids were yelling, but it's quiet. now.
Hey, can I sign both forms? And then we can all leave and you guys can figure it out.
Right, I like that.
I said, let's table
Yeah,
this,
that's
we can
weird,
move on to the COLA discussion, and that way we're not holding anything up, but to answer your question, no, the original ones did not have the entity directors on it,
Just board members.
just board. So, we'll wait till
We'll wait to see
he
what he
gets
says.
back, so moving on.
Go with the corporation usually tell you. That's usually where you find the information. Okay.
Who knows why they changed it?
Yeah, I don't
We'll
know.
do the easy ones first, so then we'll go back. Next month is our organizational meeting, November. And if anyone is interested in running for or wanting to be an officer on the board, could you please send it to Shelby so she can prepare ballots for our next meeting? No, nothing further, just next month is the turn, so if you wanna step up, this is the time to do it. Okay, now it's COLA raises for the directors. That did call the county, you wanna give everybody the information, I know you gave it to me, but.
Yeah, the county gave 4.25% COLA. Believe they also did additional, I think everyone got an additional $600.
That was effective October 1.
Yeah. I believe so.
Like the 20th or something. like
Yeah,
that.
it was
It
right.
was like mid-month. It was a mid-month.
I didn't look at the exact date, but I know it was because the last meeting we were talking about, I think they were voting on it a few days later. So that's why we pushed it to this month for you to approve an amount.
So could we get a motion to discuss the COLA raises for directors in a second, and then we'll move on? To get a motion to.
I make a motion that we offer the directors a 4.25% cost of living adjustment effective October 1, 2024.
We have a second.
Second.
Okay, now open the discussion.
Was that an across the board?
Yes.
They did not do their graduated amount this year.
According to the website, that was the only
Chris,
line.
Chris explained, I mean, is it Chris?
Chris Rose, yeah.
Yeah, Chris Rose had explained, I think that this year they were not going to do, they were gonna do across the board
Yeah.
instead of doing the graduated
The
amount
graduated.
because of, and the additional, what did you say, 600?
600.
600 was more of a retention payment because they're trying to, I mean, this is what Chris told me, so chime in if I'm wrong. But the $600 was a retention, trying to incentivate keeping employees within the county because FedEx and Amazon and everybody else are taking them away with higher pay for delivering packages. So that was more of an incentive payment to retain employees, as well as the COLA being across the board, because in the past, it's always been lower income, lower salary employees got the full percentage. medium got less and higher paid got even less. So it was,
That was for the salary though.
that was the COLA.
For sure.
The COLA was not across the board. It was graduated amount.
We've never graduated. any-
We've never done it.
Yeah.
We've always said in the past, our policy was to mimic the county in the amount, but
only
we
have
gave it
4,
all,
not 2,000.
Right.
This is just for the director.
just for the directors.
The discussion at the last meeting was, do we have a hard and fast, we do what the county does, or do we use the county as a guide? I recall it as we use the county as a guide. We don't have to
Yeah,
do
but
what the county does.
Even if we voted last year that we would do what the county says, we can always vote to not do what the county says. So it's arbitrary every year.
Because there are a lot of things the county does that we can't do, so.
I'm not, I wasn't aware of the discussion, but that, I mean, that does make sense. I just, I asked Nancy and she referred me to the actual website page, which is a one-liner.
Chris is a
That would make sense.
valuable resource for you as well, because he has been for our directors, I think, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah, he and his team are, that's right, they're all exceptional.
Great, yeah, that'd be great if I could. Get information from, or his information.
My comments were not meant as being negative, they were just meant as being informative, so that's all.
So you're not suggesting we have graduated?
I did not suggest that.
So any other discussion on more? On the poll? No? Did you restate the motion? Just to be sure we're
Make a
all
motion that
clear.
we give the directors a 4.25% COLA increase effective October 24.
All in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Good on the thought.
Sandy, can I make another motion while I'm thinking of it regarding this?
Sure.
I'd like to make a motion that we amend salary ranges for the 4 directors to increase bottom and top 4.25%. Which is what we were planning.
Second.
Sorry.
Any discussion?
I don't know if we need to make a motion on it, but that's something that we said we would do. So just to
It's always
clarify it.
better to go than not.
Yeah. More work for you, Beth. Change those jobs.
Yeah, and yeah.
Salary.
I mean, it only makes sense
It does make
because
sense.
you're
It does,
raising,
right, yeah.
you're raising
Instead of
it
guessing
a
it
cost
6
of living
months from now.
percent.
Right.
We do.
And then it doesn't get ahead of
Just
you
going
going
on
back.
cost of living.
And that's something we have not done in the past.
No, and then
probably
we catch
should.
up and then we have a problem. Okay, no further discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, we had, did you get the answer? Came back in?
Yeah, there's no issue with, I'll just leave them as directors.
Okay.
So
that's
they will
fine.
stay on as that, and I'll have you sign that, ma'am.
All right, do that.
Great, Andy's gonna bill us double now for that conversation.
Well,
You're in attendance
It was,
and
it was during a fixed meeting.
Yeah, I don't think I can get away with it.
No, huh? Okay.
just check. the
You'll
bills.
try.
Telling
We're
you.
all updated. And we
Thank you.
did- We mentioned that our directors review workshop is gonna be Thursday, November 14th at 6 p.m. And that's at the East Lake Library. And that will make our directors review regular meeting nice and smooth. You pray? Okay, the next meeting, there is a change. It is going to be here once again. The next meeting, November 20th, regular meeting 2024. We're gonna stay on the same rotation and Palm Harbor Library is gonna have it. So we'll be back here next month and then we'll go back, hopefully on the regular
Hopefully,
rotation.
yeah.
But
Well, I can
do
do
it-
December, that wasn't a problem.
yeah, but it was kind of a, I know, I was
couldn't
trying to
next
figure out
month,
who was next. so-
Yeah.
So next month we'll be here again at 7 p.m. If there's no further discussion, can I get a motion? Oh,
I just, we recommend that we give Beth some guidance as to the turnaround time on these director reviews. When she gets them by February 1st, then what?
well, we need them, I don't know, before November 14th.
My plan was to compile them and give them to you by, November 7th.
Wow.
That's good.
Yeah, you're just compiling the eight, right? into
Yeah.
one.
Go-getter.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like it on my desk either.
Okay,
you know.
good.
You like to clear stuff too,
Stuff,
don't you?
Okay, if no further business come before the board, we
Move to adjourn.
can adjourn. Second, okay, all in favor? Aye.
Hit the gavel.
Everybody thanks.
Shelby, take care.
Help with you.
This is
Yeah,
actually.
taking it.
That is cool. What do you do all the other ones yet? eBay.
Give it back, one with mine.
I gave you one.
You gave me one.
Well, I didn't give you the,
I know, good
whatever
luck.
the clay part of it.
I have, so I think I had three.
So you know where you, that's from experience, people having to use those pretty fast.
You'll be the keeper.
But if we're not.
7:23, guys.
What's the name?
Girl, we went to.